To avert a government shutdown at the end of 2022, Congress passed and President Joe Biden signed a Consolidated Appropriations Act. It was a $1.7 trillion spending package to keep the federal government open and running into their next fiscal year. But it included a lot of policy provisions that impact Medicaid and food benefits at the same time. And we're talking about some of the changes to emergency allotments that were included in that omnibus spending package. It essentially set a hard end date to emergency allotments. Up until this time, because of the COVID public health emergency, states have been able to request a waiver. If they had a state declared disaster declaration or emergency declaration, and the national COVID public health emergency declaration was in place, states could ask for emergency allotments, and many states have. The number has diminished over time. The first emergency allotments were issued back around March of 2020, almost 3 years ago. The number of states still requesting emergency allotments is about half. About 28 states, including Washington, D.C., requested a January 2023 emergency allotment. Even if the national COVID public health emergency continues, and we know it'll go to at least mid-April, even if it continues beyond that, emergency allotments for food benefits will end after February. If a state requests a February emergency allotment, that will be the last one they are able to request. Some states, like we said, have stopped issuing emergency allotments. Some states, like South Carolina, said January will be their last one. Of the states that request them, February is the last one. The Consolidated Appropriations Act, the spending package, also called the Omnibus bill, said February is the last one, which means by March, families will go back to the old way of getting their food benefits. A lot of states take their household size and income into account, and March benefits for all of those states will look like the way they looked before the COVID pandemic. The impact is going to be quite large. There's a lot written on this of who's going to feel the burden of this reduced food amount. Low-income families, seniors, it's going to be a big adjustment for a lot of households. There are some changes coming to children's food programs for the summer. That was one of the trade-offs of stopping emergency allotments early. We'll talk about that in a future video once we learn more from the USDA.